Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really different, a franchise model that's sitting right at the intersection of two huge trends, our obsession with wellness and, well, our absolute love for our pets. We're talking about the Aumbio Wellness model. So let's just start with this question right here, because honestly, it gets to the very heart of what Aumbio is all about. It's this idea of accessible, non-medical well-being. And you'll see, that's what helps it carve out such a unique space in what is, let's be real, a very crowded franchise world. Okay, so to really get what Umbio's doing, we have to talk about the massive shift that's happening in the wellness industry. And believe me, the numbers here, they're just staggering. Okay, first up, let's just look at the scale in the US alone. We're talking over $2 trillion a year on well-being. To put that in perspective, that's more than $6,000 for every single person. That's a huge market. And hey, it's not just us we're spending on, right? The pet wellness market is absolutely exploding. We're talking over $136 billion, all because we're looking for that same kind of preventative care for our furry family members. And this isn't just some American thing either. This is a global phenomenon. I mean, look at these projections. The wellness market is just rocketing towards $9 trillion worldwide. An industry that big is absolutely ripe for new ideas. So you've got this massive, growing market. The big question is, how does Aumbio actually plan to step in and meet this demand? Well, the answer is pretty fascinating. It's this blend of modern tech and some really established wellness principles. Okay, so the core of what they do is something called biofield therapy. Now, to put it simply, it's a totally non-invasive approach. They use their own special AI-assisted tech to find these little energy imbalances in the body's natural state. And what's cool is, while the tech itself is super modern, the ideas behind it, well, they've been used in wellness practices around the world for more than 80 years. So what does this actually look like for a client? Someone walking in the door? Well, the whole journey is super clear and structured. You start with a consultation, then you do a biofeedback reading with their tech. That reading then spits out a totally personalized therapy program just for you. And then you have regular follow-ups to make sure everything's on track. It's repeatable, it's personal, and it's all driven by their system. All right, this next point is absolutely critical to understanding the whole business model. Aumbio is super clear about what they are and what they're not. They promise complete transparency and safety. The tech they use is approved under FDA guidelines as a low-risk device. But here's the key. They are strictly a complementary wellness service. They are not a replacement for your doctor or traditional healthcare. And this quote right here just sums it all up perfectly. Non-invasive, no diagnostics, no drama. That's the secret sauce. Because they stay firmly in that wellness lane and avoid all the complex medical stuff, the whole model becomes simple, safe, and, most importantly for our franchise, scalable. It means you don't need a team of doctors or nurses, which, completely changes the game from an operational standpoint. So that non-medical focus is exactly what gives Aumbio such a unique spot in the wellness franchise world. Let's actually take a look at how it stacks up against some of the other big names you might know. Yeah, this chart is really fascinating when you look at it. You've got brands like Stretch Zone and Beam Light Sauna, right? They're all about physical stuff, stretching, saunas. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, you have something like Liquivita, which is basically a medical service. We're talking a huge investment, medical licenses, the whole 9 yards. And then, there's Aumbio. It's sitting right there in its own category. The investment level is similar to the non-medical guys, but it's offering something totally unique, tech-driven, for both people and pets. Nobody else is doing that. Okay, so what does all this mean for you, a potential owner? Let's break down the actual blueprint for what it takes to run an Aumbio center. What's interesting is that Aumbio isn't looking for doctors or some kind of tech genius. They're looking for a very specific kind of person. Someone who's empathetic, who genuinely cares, someone who's open-minded and really wants to build a local community hub. But the most important thing, they have to be a system follower. That just means someone who can trust the playbook and execute on a model that's already proven to work. And this quote here really gets to the core of it for an owner. You're not selling your own personal expertise. You're selling peace of mind that comes from their systems. That's why it's transferable. It means the business isn't built around one single person. It's built around a process that can be taught, learned, and run successfully by lots of different people. That's a huge deal in franchising. All right, let's talk numbers. The model is definitely designed to be accessible. It starts with a franchise fee of $50,000, and that gets you the license and, of course, access to all their systems. Now, that fee is part of the total initial investment, which ranges from about $139,000 up to $248,000. And that's a comprehensive number. It covers pretty much everything you need to get your doors open. And this right here really shows you how simple the operations are designed to be. You can forget about needing a huge, complicated team. A typical center can run really effectively with just a manager and 2 trained wellness operators. It's built to be lean right from the get-go. And the path to actually getting your center open? It's just as structured as the process for clients. It's this clear 6-step journey that walks an owner all the way from that first application right through to a grand opening, with all the training and support you'd expect built right in. All right, so let's zoom out for a second. When you put all these pieces together, the market, the tech, the business model, what does it really tell us about where the entire world of wellness is going? Ultimately, what Aumbio represents is a really big shift toward a new kind of care. It's a model built on technology that's accessible and one that complements, not competes with, traditional medicine. And, by including pets, it really acknowledges this deep change in how we think about our families and what well-being means for all of us. And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. As we look to the future, is the biggest opportunity in wellness not about more complex clinical treatments, but about making simple, effective, tech-driven well-being accessible to everyone, and of course, to every pet? It's a huge question, and it's one that Aumbio is betting its entire business on.